Oh, g'day. How you going? Fancy seeing you here. Welcome to Grab Life by the Balls. Sorry, Grab Life by the Balls. I'm Sammy P. And I was sitting just behind where I've got the computer there, and I was meditating. That's right, real men meditate. And I was meditating, and man, I was getting pissed off. I'm a bit pumped. I shouldn't be, because I have only had the one coffee this morning, but I'm a bit pumped and I'm a bit pissed off, and I have a bit of a rant. Man, there's so much shit out there. Stuff. No offense to those people. There's so much stuff out there that we're trying to tell people what to do, especially men. And it just feels like we're adding on to all this pressure and all this weight and all this suffocation of all this stuff that we should do, that we need to do, that you have to do it like this. What a crock of shit. You got to get in your king energy or some... Don't get me started, I'll swear too much. But stuff all that. Grab life by the balls is about you grabbing life by the balls. Stepping up. Sometimes you're going to have to own some of your shit, which we talked about in a podcast. If you're in the Facebook group, you would have seen that. Otherwise, you'll see it in the next week or so. What about finding out who you really are? What about finding out what your strengths are? What about looking at what that underlying motivation is for you, why you put up with doing a shit job or a job that you effing hate? Why do you really do it? What's underneath that? Why do you put yourself through so much pressure, so much crap? I'm trying not to swear so much. Why do you put yourself under all that pressure? Because there's an underlying reason. There's something that's really effing important to you as to why you do that. And then once you understand what's underlying, what's your real motivation and what you're really good at, and there's a few other things we talk about as well, then you set your own vision. You go to where you want to go. Stop trying to make yourself fit into a job. Find out who you really are, fellas. And then look for the job that fits you, not the other way around. I hope I said that the right way around. You know what I mean? If you don't, yeah. Stop trying to fit in. Start standing out. Start grabbing life by the balls. There's too much of this other stuff on top of that, and we add to it. We add to that pressure, add to that suffocation of getting into doing all these rah-rah BS things. It's not that. Understand that you've got an inner prick. You know, we have about 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. 95% of them are the same from yesterday, and 90% of them are negative. It's not about being positive. It's about interrupting that pattern of being that inner prick, that guy that gives you a hard time inside your head. It's about interrupting that. Focusing on what you want to have, what you want to do. Because over time, as you do go through the inner prick and we have that society's expectations, what we think we should be doing, what our family thinks we should be doing, what everyone else wants to tell us that we should be doing, we get stuck. And we get curled up and we go into stress, we devolve, we go into that stress response, we get high cortisol levels, we go into that fight or flight response, and nothing really good comes from there unless you're running away for something that's going to kill you. Over time, that is going to eat away at you. We need to interrupt that pattern. That's what we do at Grab Life by the Balls. We get aware of the inner prick. We get aware of good boy syndrome, what everyone else thinks we should be doing and would like to tell us. And we touch on the highlight reel, Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. Mostly people's highlight reel. It's not always real. And then have a look at what you're really good at. There is an inner champion inside all of us. Not a king energy and all this sort of stuff. There's an inner champion. There's your way of doing things. It's not about doing what everyone else is doing. It's about finding what's really good for you, what's really important to you, and what you're really good at. Then have a look at where you want to go. Stop forgetting. You know, it's a bit hard. We're so suffocated. We're so fenced in. We're so bombarded with all the stresses, all the financial pressure, all those sorts of pressures that we have every day. But we don't really look at where we want to go and what we really want to do. What is that? Start, even if it's just going from 90% of all the other stuff and then 10% of this little thing that's you, why not start to open that up? Have a look what happens when everything feels so much better. When everything's in alignment. I'm a chiropractor. When everything's in alignment, things seem to work better. Whoa. Get your mind sorted. Understand it's not always going to be positive. Understand that other people are going to give you pressure and tell you what you should be doing. But if you know who you really are by knowing your strengths, knowing what's really important to you and setting your own vision, that's what it is to grab life by the balls. That's the difference. It's not adding stuff on. It's just finding out what you're going on about. That's why the guys that are going to start helping me out are called wingmen, because they're beside you. They're with you. They're an invaluable asset. Wingman. You know, you sit there on the weekend, you sit there, have them watching the footy, and you can tell what those players are doing. You can tell what they're doing wrong. And you chastise them. We sit in the grandstand and watch them and tell them what they're doing wrong. Easy from up there. It looks so easy. Why don't they do it? I tell you what, I'm glad I'm not out there playing. That's hard work. Everyone telling me what to do. But you know what? They've got a wingman next to them. They'll have the coach. They'll have some mentors. They'll have some other guy helping them out through that to see it. Because when you're in it, you know, it's easy to sit up here and look at it, but when you're in it, it's completely different. That's why anyone who's good in business, all that sort of stuff, business, sport, same kind of stuff going on, same inside your head. Hey, Tyler, the same stuff going on inside your head. These guys at an elite level, sport or business, will have someone there. They'll have a wingman. They'll have a coach. They'll have a mentor there with them. That's what Grab Life by the Balls is about. Unearthing the inner prick, getting clear that, you know, this stuff, this good boy syndrome, all this stuff we're told to do and all that pressure from outside, getting clear on, or at least understanding that awareness of that's coming at you. Getting clear on what's the underlying motivation, why you get out of bed in the morning, even if it is to go to a job that you hate. Getting clear on your strengths and what you're really good at. What are you so good at? Where do you play the best? We can't all be wingers. We can't all be props. We've got to play our position in the field. What's your strength? And then with that in mind, you set your own vision. We're not all playing team sport. The team family unit may be a team, but you can set your own premiership. Be your own champion in whatever it is that you want to do. Stop trying to play everyone else's game. That's what it means to grab life by the balls. Get amongst it.